Hi, I'm Eric Dillon, the Senior Instructor with the Johnstone Training Center in Fresno, California. And today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the subtle differences when we go to an A2L furnace, specifically Goodman furnaces today. Okay, so a couple of things we want to talk about. Probably the first one is the left-handed quarter-inch thread to right-handed quarter-inch thread adapter. This is something you're going to need. Most of the tanks, I believe all the tanks now, are going to be left-handed thread, so when you go to charging you will need that. The other thing that we need to be very familiar with, it's a part of our reality now, is our RDS systems, refrigerant detection systems. In this particular case, what we have today is we have a Goodman furnace with an ADP flex coil that we've pulled the 410A expansion valve out and put an R32 expansion valve in. Actually, we had students do it. And so along with that, we did order the ADP Universal RDS kit, which is what I have here. And as you can see, it's not a lot. It's some additional wiring that needs to be done. And we're going to go over to a furnace here shortly and kind of show you why we did it the way we did it and some of the things you need to be aware of. So when we first talk about the RDS system, and we talked about the ADP kit in particular that we did, this is the ADP sensor, and this is the bracket out of the ADP coil, flex coil that we use. So as you can see, right, this is actually pre-drilled. It's designed to go here. What we elected to do is we actually went with a Goodman R32 RDS sensor, and we plugged it in. And unfortunately, this bracket would not work. We did have to fabricate a new bracket to mount the R32 sensor in the flex coil. Okay, so one of the first things you'll notice is we have an all-new design on the furnace board. And as you can see, there's a few more bells and whistles to it. Obviously, probably the biggest thing I want to point out is we did not elect to go with that ADP RDS system. And so we did use the Goodman R32 sensor, which, as you can see, it just plugs right in, and it made the installation go a lot simpler. So when we get to the combustion compartment, you can see there's not a lot of obvious changes. A couple things that I do want to point out is, if you can see this grommet down here where the wirings come through, this is a sealed grommet, right? We're trying to keep this compartment not quite airtight, but we don't want refrigerant that might be leaking to fall into this compartment. So all louvers that you're used to seeing on this compartment have also been eliminated. And we'll talk about how we get combustion air in there next. Okay, so since we don't have louvers, right, we have to provide some combustion air in here for the combustion process to happen. So what we found on this Goodman system in particular is we actually have a fresh air intake. Now this one's a little short, just simply for our lab setup that we have here. But ideally this needs to be piped away a little ways, not far, but a little ways away. And then as you can see, right, it kind of creates an issue with your condensate drains off your coil. So you have to get a little more creative. You're going to use some 90s where you're not going to be able to run straight out. And of course, flue pipe over there is going to be normal. But one of the other things that we found was the knockouts. If you can see them hopefully in the frame, these knockouts, because this compartment is sealed, they're not pressed out as far as we're used to. And honestly, when we installed this, we kind of beat on it pretty good, and we ended up taking a step bit and actually drilling a hole for the gas line and for the electrical as well. So these knockouts are not the knockouts that we prefer to have. So we've pointed out some of the differences that we noticed. From what we have found, everything else seemed to install just like a normal furnace. But please let us know if you happen to find something different that we didn't point out. Please drop it in the comments, and we look forward to hearing from you. Hopefully this provides you with a little bit of insight as to the subtle differences on the A2L furnaces. For this and any other training needs, don't be afraid to look us up at the Johnstone Training Center in Fresno, California, where we provide you with real-world experience for your real-world career.